This will be the condition inspection of our 2012 Volkswagen Golf R. All the best laid plans, as they say. So, because of luck being what it is, I asked Dieter to put the car outside last night so that it could be a true cold start video for when I shoot the true cold start video. So, rolled it out and put it out, and as luck would have it, of course it had to rain last night, overnight. So what was a beautifully detailed car is now a water-stained car, but we should hopefully still be able to do an accurate cosmetic condition inspection. So, folks that heard me or saw my post regarding living across the street from this gentleman, so here is where he lives, and there is where I used to live, where that maroon Lexus is. Kitty corner, a building across, and almost 30 years ago, that is how I met this gentleman. So, back to the V-dub. So, you can see the 4 square marks on the ground where it was dry, so that when it rained, and you can see under the car. So folks know I'm telling the truth, but we will go around the car a couple of times. Of course, it went from overcast to bright sun now, literally in the last 10 or 15 minutes. And yes, of course, now there is a shade of oxidation on those rotors from the overnight rain. That is how it is. Goes cool at night, humid during the day. Anybody who lives in any kind of a place like this knows any car that you see sitting out, even if it had been driven a couple hours before, it's going to have that layer of oxidation on it. Still thick spec on the pads and rotors, just out of a thorough PPI at European Specialist Helmet and Vito's, where it had been serviced almost continuously since he's gotten it. Was obtained, as you can see, by the license plate from Orland Park Volkswagen. And prior to that, it was at Elmhurst Volkswagen, where it was sold new and was serviced there, as you could tell by the Carfax. So the car has been serviced at a Volkswagen dealer almost really just about every last visit that it had. Again, recently, the last few years that he's had it, it has been serviced at European Car Specialist Helmet and Vito's, as I mentioned. So I also mentioned in that introductory post that he has had almost a lifelong of European cars, which is how he developed that relationship with Helmet and Vito's. And Helmet and Vito's is not just a fly-by-night Joe Blow shop. As you can see, they are a Carfax reporting dealer. So a well-known quantity in this western suburban Chicagoland area. So we will go around one more time. This will be an exterior and interior cosmetic inspection, just trying to give you some more background on the ownership and servicing of the car, but that beginning post really lays everything out. We do now have confirmation he did indeed dig up the invoice for the clutch. It is actually a high performance clutch that he got from ECS Tuning, and guys that know V-dubs know ECS. So it was part of a larger package. It was actually the clutch kit, flywheel, whole mech daddy setup. So adding to the beautiful drivability of this car. So when I had said that the thing was showered with money and care, that just adds to that, the piece of the puzzle. So just over 77,000 miles, as I mentioned, in this lovely shade of black on black, classic color combo. A lot of maintenance done recently, very recently. It's annual inspection, and if you see by the Carfax and by the invoice list that we have, it got more maintenance than years. So it had oil changes very, very regularly, even when it had only been driven like 1,000 or 2,000 miles. So definitely servicing top notch, and nothing left to chance on that. So last go around here on the distance, then we will get in close so that folks see how really clean and presentable it is. Hard to believe it has been a Midwest car all its life, but it has. So the previous owner, or one of the two previous owners, as I had mentioned, Dieter is the third owner, had put on the cold air intake, and for whatever reason decided to remove the engine cover. So we do not have the engine cover, and we do not have the original factory air box. I wish we did. So as you can see, everything condition wise, whether it's on the sunny side or on the shady side, very, very consistent. So start to get up a little bit closer now. The areas that you would normally think would get beat up simply are not. So no scratches in the door handle area all around. Can only speculate that this was nothing but adult owned all its life. So the handles themselves, the areas inside the handles there, the little concave nooks, very, very clean. But aside from the driver's seat, which, as I mentioned in that post in response, that was repaired due to a tear. Great job on the repair there by interior specialists over in Schaumburg. Sorry, name escapes me right now, but other than that, really, the entire interior is incredibly pristine. So my guess, my speculation is that it was a commuter for the folks who had owned it, the first two owners. And I can tell you that Dieter did not use it for work. As I mentioned, it was a retirement car for him. So he's always had a backup car. So that's why it only got driven the 8,000 miles in the almost 5 years. So another thing that should jump out at you, since we're looking at cosmetics, is how clear all the glass is. It retains all of its original glass. Every bit of it, when you zoom in, has the Volkswagen symbol. So she is retaining all of her original glass. Hopefully you can see that there in the sun. V-dub there. V-dub there. All the quarter glass. And the only piece of, there it is, see the V-dub there. So the car did come with full tint from its last owner, and looked sort of okay when he first got it, but started to really peel on the driver's door. So part of that Riggs Brothers visit where the headliner was done, and yes, I will be showing the invoice for that because the one member asked how much it was. The headliner itself, completely redone inside and out, was about $1,000. So Riggs Brothers area top shelf interior shop. They redid the headliner. They removed the tint so you can see clear as could be. Glass looks great, obviously, as you can tell with seeing the buildings in the background behind me. So there is your V-dub. Does not want to focus on it, but there's your V-dub symbol on the quarter glass. There it is on the rear glass. There it is on the driver's door. So all original glass all around. All original panels. All original wheels. As far as we can tell, all original lights. The lights do have a little bit of oxidation starting, so I don't know if you can see it from this distance or from this angle. With the sun behind me, you can see that it is starting to oxidize up here toward the top. It's normally not this noticeable, but again, sun is back over my shoulder, so that is why it is that bright. Here it is on the, I can't really call it the shady side, but not directly into the sun. And again, we've got just a slightest bit of yellowing right here up top toward the eyebrow. So one of those do-it-your-home little plastic lens kits probably do it fine, but at night there's no issues at all. So it's really more just of a cosmetic thing. So just a handful of tiny chips on the front. Again, the rain is really kind of exasperating it, but I will try to point them out. So we'll go ahead and we will zoom in. So this is literally, I'm 6 inches away and I've got it max zoomed in. So you've got actually 2 tiny little specks there. We have, really hard to tell what is dirt and what is, that is actually just a little mark that mostly kind of came off. So suffice it to say, with the metallic, it's hard to tell. There's not a lot of real marks. I would say probably if someone were to put a light buff into this, the vast majority of these would kind of vanish. So front bumper is extremely clean. Not really much there to speak of. We do have a couple of marks. I will try to point those out. We've got what looks like a gentle upwards scuff going up there. And again, very light, just in the clear coat. A decent buff would get that out. Otherwise, we've got essentially just what is some very low side. As I get on the ground here, we've got some scuffing there on the bottom. And again, you got to be on the ground looking up to see that. Center portion is pretty clean. And then over on this corner, you have a kind of a matching, and I know it looks like it's big, but it's not. This is maybe like 1 inch tall, and it goes kind of through there, but I guess that is kind of par for the course on these cars. So you get up top and there's nothing there. So we will look around the paint over on this side, seeing what is a very light vertical scratch right there. You cannot feel it, so that should also come out with a buff. This looks like a stain. That is a stain. I can feel that it's coming off. All I really did was just wipe a couple of spots of bird poop off when I came here, and obviously I just did not have time nor the inclination to wipe down the entire car. So apologies for that, but you're getting about as honest a presentation as you can possibly get. So looks like we have another soft nick right here. That one as well, you cannot feel, so I would believe that a buff would get most of that, if not all of that, out. So that is your passenger side. Not really a whole heck of a lot on the rear here to look at. This looks like some road smudging right here. And ditto here. We've got a little bit of scratching there, little bit right there. But again, I would say that is something that is coming off as I scrape at it. So I'm back to my good old buff will make this thing look a ton better. So again, very honest presentation. Now on the driver's side, which you would think would have more than the rest, and there really isn't a whole heck of a lot there. Just have some streaks coming down from the mirror from the rain. Other than that, got a little bit of something right there. You cannot feel that. So that falls under these, should come out with a buff category. Really the rest is pretty nice. Roof is even, if not just has this layer of dust on it, but Roof is very, very clean. It is a slick top, so we have no sunroof. Nice clean lines. There's your antenna back there. So that completes our exterior cosmetic inspection of the car. So 15 minutes in, let's go ahead and get inside. I'm gonna go ahead and open all 4 doors because it is black, and even though it is about 75 degrees today, nice fall day in Chicagoland, that black heats up pretty quick if it's sitting out in the sun. So this will help literally and figuratively shed some light. Go ahead and open the hatch as well. What does speak to the paint condition, as you can see me walking around, yes, I am wearing a beige shirt, and yes, I am wearing blue pants. So even in a black car, you can see my beige and blue combination. You can see my red and black gloves. You can even see the lettering on my gloves in the paint and read it. So that's pretty impressive. There's my silver watch with the black face. So paint condition all around is very, very nice. Even in a car that now needs a wash, it looks pretty darn good. So here I am again. There's my beige shirt. Can't show you my pants in the hood, but there is, how do I get this? There we go. There you can see the red and the black in the paint, in the dirty hood. There's the silver. If you're looking at the reflection, there is the silver and black watch. So even in dirty paint, she looks pretty darn good. Smoked signal lenses. Forgot to point that out. The previous owner did that as well. So we do have cool smoked signal lenses. I can't tell if that's an entire lens or if that is just a smoke cover over the lens. And we do not have rear side markers, so it is just the fronts. So let's go in on the driver's, where you would normally get yourself into the cockpit. Apologies, now the sun is right where I don't need it to be, but you can see steering wheel is in really nice condition. Here is your driver's seat, except for that one bolster spot, which I had mentioned, that got a repair. It's actually in really excellent shape. So I'm gonna come around to the passenger side and try to zoom in on it from this side, because that's really where you see it. So there is the repair that you can see, and of course, because the sun is magnifying it, it looks worse than it is. But that was a tear, and that is now a repair. So aside from that, really the rest of the driver's seat is in great condition. The headrests, both sides, fantastic. Again, all the controls in really nice shape. I'll go back around to the driver's side again so you can get a better look at the dash. Dash is in immaculate condition, no cracks, no warpage, no nothing. Doors open and close like perfect. So there's your dash. Your steering wheel, there is your shifter, your center console. So again, all adult owned. Here's probably the best shot of the back seat from here. We zoom out to 0.5. And that back seat is really in incredible condition. There's clearly no kids with any kind of regularity back there with any of the owners, certainly not this owner. And then passenger seat, practically perfect as well. So even the touch points like seat belt grab areas, great condition. Seat belt buckle itself, the receiver, it's really super clean. Does not present like a car that has 77,000 miles on it. So it does come with the 2 sets of mats, as we've discussed and mentioned. The one gentleman asked, are they out of a Mark whatever, 5 or 6? I can't recall. I really don't know, but they fit perfectly. So they go right up to where the dead pedal is. So If they're the wrong gen, I don't know. They go right up to where the gas pedal is supposed to be. They fit perfectly right in here, and they pop into these little pegs and stay in place. So that is a set of 4, front and rear. There's your 2 rears. There's your rear ventilation. Here's your rear armrest. And your rear cup holders. And I showed, or I will show in the pictures, there's our pass-through. Again, this stuff is really all, was not used. He did not haul stuff in it. He has a daily driver, a Subaru, in fact, right now, first Japanese vehicle ever in the fleet. Not sure how long that'll last. I think he's getting the itch to go back to full-time German, but so he's always had another car for daily use to haul stuff or whatever. So this was always a pleasure car, always for fun driving. So our back seat, left rear door, driver's side passenger door. There is your driver's door. Again, excellent condition. No kick marks, no broken speaker grill areas, stuff that you would normally see with this age and miles. Immaculate in there, never really brought beverages in there. So all of the carpeting or material that's in the doors, really fantastic. Again, touch points, everything silver, everything. The stuff is crisp. The symbols, I guess is the best way to put it. The symbols are crisp lock, mirror adjust. All the controls, everything is crisp to the touch. So, in my opinion, just great condition for a 13-year-old, 77,000 mile car. Here's your driver's door. We'll just let that shut itself. Your passenger door. Let that shut itself. And here we are in the back. Again, condition very, very consistent. There's your window cover, deck cover, whatever you want to call that. We've got pictures of all this stuff gone. There's that second set of factory mats. There you see the VW symbol on it. Got your power port back there. So give this guy a pull from his little reverse handle here. See if I can get this on one shot. Nope, I did not, but super soft close here. Just trying to do it. Slick flip. Here's your open. So beautifully there. Let's give it another shot. Trying to do it without touching the tailgate. That was that. Passenger rear door. Back of your passenger seat. Just the back of your driver's seat. This angle. Again, all your carpeting, your mats, these things look like they've never been used. So, and everything under there, just outstanding condition. So we'll give this guy a close. I mean, your shut lines are going to be perfect. Car's never been apart. All the material, as I mentioned. Here's the dash from this side. No, nothing broken, nothing faded. Everything on the controls, like I said, all the letters are super crisp. Everything works properly. And here is that brand new headliner done at Riggs Brothers, as I mentioned. There's our glass. Of course, everything is clear, as you would imagine. Here's our compartment. All your R plates and badging all in place. And let's get under the hood for our last area of inspection. Hopefully I can do that one-handed. Can't remember if this is a prop rod or if this is a strut. It is struts. Strut, singular. So there is that. So sufficiently pictured. There is your cold air intake CTS turbo. Used to be more familiar with these when the missus and I owned our own Mark IV, Mark V GTI, which we loved that car. So aside from the cold air intake and missing cover, I am really not sure what all one would see under here. So does have the addition of the K&N sticker. All the other stickers, factory markings are in place. So again, showing that it's all original panels. Nothing looks like it was replaced. Nothing looks like it was removed. So condition is commensurate all the way around. More remnants of last night's rain. So, and we will then one hand close this guy. So just take you for a quick inspection of the shut lines. You will see that the gaps are totally consistent. Which is why everything opens and closes so smoothly. So it is not perfect, but it is very, very nice. It has been very, very, very well maintained all its life, adult, cared for, and now needs to be moved on to the next lucky caretaker. Hope you have enjoyed this presentation.